morning to you. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for joining us this morning on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your state's number one family radio station. Good morning to you. Thank God it is Friday, and today is Friday, the 25th of April 2025. Thank you for joining us. This is Perspectives Unlimited, the program where we go beyond the news to help you make sense of fresh stories, headlines, happenings in Nigeria from major dailies. We go through them from the front page, let you keep you abreast of the stories, and the flip side of it is where we bring you up to speed with in-depth analysis. Like I say all the time, we believe that when you are well informed, it will help you make better decisions. And our analysts, they're always set, to give us undiluted, information as we get information and then stories in Nigeria. Once again, thank you for joining me this morning. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. Great morning to you. Let's start the program this morning, and as we look at the front pages, we have three dailies right in the studio: The Punch, The Guardian newspaper, and of course the Nigerian Tribune. From The Punch newspaper, on page 2 at the top, Atiku Saraki spearhead PDP resurgence amid key deflections. That story you find on page 2. On the same page, which is the major story this morning on The Punch, NEC postpones state police talks despite surge in killings. NDF raises panel to tackle killings, proposes massive security personnel recruitment. We come to that later. To what may be a good news to some, but not good news yet until money loss, kind of find a way back into the accounts when necessary. EFCC gets order to arrest 6 CBEX promoters. Is this a good news to some of the subscribers of CBEX? Maybe if you read the story. On page 33, 13 govs fund rural electrification in 925 villages on page 33. On page 32, emergency IBAS meets reps panel today as protests continue. On page 14, cybercrime, Chinese suspects forfeit 73 houses, 1,596 laptops on page 14. And finally, on page 21, Obi versus Abure, INEC studies Supreme Court judgment. You find that on page 21. And the photo story, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, speaking at the Harvard Business School in the United States on building the future of Lagos State infrastructure led by transformation. You find that photo story there. Feels like Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is in the classroom. It's the picture is on the front page of the Punch this morning. Moving on to page 5 of The Guardian, which is the first story we'll be taking from that daily. Lagos has shortfall of 66,000 doctors, nurses, says the government. Scandals, President won't allow Akpabio to step aside, says Senator on page 3. On the same page, Reps says 1,723 vessels engage in sharp practices on Nigeria waters. And moving on to page 6, which is the major story, hurdles for opposition parties as APC wins more governors' orders. 2027 is knocking. On page 2, which is the panorama page of The Guardian, ECOWAS to relocate institution from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. On page 4, WHO to downsize operation amid major funding cuts. We've been unfairly blamed for insecurity in Imo, IPOB laments. 10 billion naira Aso Rock solar project and admission of power sector failure, says Human Rights Writers Association. An admission of power sector failure. And on page 6, insecurity. Tinubu security chiefs in talks. 36 govs discuss crisis in Abuja. That's around insecurity in Nigeria. All right, on the photo story, the picture of the president, that of, we have the picture of Fubara right there, Ifeanyi Okowa, Abdullahi Ganduje, right on the front page of The Guardian this morning. And I'm sure it's nothing more other than the new coalition, so to say, a deflection that we're experiencing, and the effect of that on, so to say, the president's re-election in the coming election, if possible. To our final daily this morning on the Tribune, alleged 1 billion naira fraud court permits EFCC to arrest, detain 6 over CBEX. And on page 2, military killed 1,770 terrorists, arrested 3,079 in 3 years across Northwest states, CDS says. On page 24, Labour Party crisis again. Abure calls out Oti Obi for misinterpreting Supreme Court judgment. Now to the major story on page 3 and 24 of the Nigerian Tribune. 2027 won't be decided by the number of govs, says PDP. Damagum shrug off Delta mass deflection, says Obi. Gathered millions of votes without a state gov. No cause for alarm. We will reposition the party, says Saraki. Presidency mocks Atiku, says political future now bleak. Ikem berate APC slide to personal interest, and forum won't surrender to plot of one party, says coalition. In River State, again, Ibas absent at the BREPS panel. On page 2, gunmen abduct 14 passengers in Benue. On page 6, first quarter 2025, UBA profit rises by 30.65% to 204 billion naira. And of course, on page 5, despite worsening security, INEC again differs talks, defer talks on state policing. Council approves 90 billion naira agribusiness livestock development. Rivers sole administrator attend council meeting on page 5. And finally, on the same page, Lagos investors delight Sanwo-Olu. And that's all we can take from the front page this morning. Thank you for joining us on the program Perspectives Unlimited. Watch us live on our Facebook page this morning. That's another platform where you can engage with us, and we will be more than glad to have you on that side. Watch us on Facebook, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook. And at the same time, you can watch us live on YouTube. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is the name right on YouTube. Like the video, comment, and share the video. Share your perspective right in the comment section, and you can be sure that we will pay attention to it and read it out loud. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Very sad and unfortunate, because to me, if there's any state that should think that way, not Delta, because the party is very magnanimous. I thank God that in their message they didn't say that the party did anything wrong to them other than good. It's a decision taken by them, but the pains will be in us.
I think the general perception is that the defections are instigated by personal political interests and pressures connected with it. So it's not about ideology. If you also look at those who are defecting or those who have defected, you must also ask yourself, what's the ideology they had before from which they've switched? And what ideology did they say is making them join another party? They say, I'm just defecting to this party. So bandwagon effect, personal interest, lack of conviction, a poor political culture. So all of that is on the table. But the other thing to note is that there's nothing criminal in political defection. You can defect to another political party out of conviction. That, look, I believe this is where the welfare of the people will be better served, so I'm joining them. But that's not what we're hearing. It's a lot of undercurrent. 2027 is a strong element you discover that you probably, the ruling party is probably so strong and growing, much stronger, that by the time we get to 2027, your chances will be diminished if you're not in that party. That could make you defect. It's quite possible there's inducement, among so many other things.
We are running a system here that is very despicable, very disheartening. A platform that gave you all the necessary tools, the opportunity to represent your constituency. Now, it's about time we revisit this type of system we are running in Nigeria. There was a time when we had President Yaradua. They had some crisis in South Africa. He appointed me and some other. I led the team to wade into the crisis. It was when we got there that I realized that the system by which they handle their elections is very different from here. For every election, no individual names gets the ticket of the party. It is the party that contests for election. At the end of the election, that is when they will now decide, Party A, you had so much, present your presidential man. Present the vice president, present this, present that, present the House of Reps and all that, which is the reverse of what we do here. That is why when you say the party is supreme, the party is supreme. I am shocked that a party that gave you the tools, a party that gave you the platform, a party that recognized you to go on their platform, you campaigned on that, halfway to house, you started looking around and flip-flopping and rolling around like a rudderless ship. This is 2025. We still got 2 years to go. You are decamping. You are jumping deep. Who knows what will happen? 24 hours in politics is a long time. I'm very disappointed with these governors. Very disappointed. Because they got the platform of the party, the backing of the party, and the electorate in their states supported them because of the programs of the party.
Welcome back to the program, Still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, and your state's number one family radio station. Good morning to you once again. Thank you for joining us on Perspectives Unlimited, this weekend edition. And as always, we usually do a recap of some of the biggest stories in Nigeria for the week. And as the week was gradually, winding down, I would have thought the Plateau story would still be the biggest, as a lot of us, are still going over that and state police and other issues until this headline, was published on Wednesday. Delta Governor Okowa orders dump PDP for the APC. The governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Sharif Oborevore, has officially defected from the People's Democratic Party to the ruling APC. The announcement was made following a closed-door meeting from the government house in Asaba on Wednesday. The governor's chief press secretary, Festus Ahon, confirmed the development in a phone conversation with the Vanguard. The manager said all PDP members in the state, including the governor, the former governor Okowa, the speaker, the deputy, the state party chairman, and all local government chairmen had agreed to join the APC. The father says, we cannot continue to be in a sinking boat. Now, moving on to other issues. On the 2nd of August 2028, there's this article, 2018, I beg your pardon, 2018. Sorry for that. 2018. Defection, and deflection. Who now holds the balance of power in Nigeria? It was written by Lagma Kinloe on the 2nd of August 2018. And I'm just going to read a section of that, and we start our conversation from there. This week, another turmoil ran through Nigeria's turbulent political landscape as the Senate President Bukola Saraki, then in 2018, walked out of the ruling party, explaining why he had left the APC. The country's third most senior politician said his position in the party had become untenable. All governance principles which were required for a healthy function of the party and the government were deliberately violated and remained, he wrote in a letter. In the party in Saraki followed in the footsteps of 14 senators and 37 members of the House of Representatives who dramatically left the APC last week. They too complained of being sidelined and criticized different aspects of Muhammadu Buhari's governance over the party and the country. All right, it's a long read, and I remember enjoying the article so much in 2018. And here we are again, seeing the governor of a state, the former governor of that state. In short, it's like everybody in that state is moving to another political party. A while ago, you listened to the voice of Chief Olabode George, who expressed his disappointment. We also listened to the voice of Umar Damago, the PDP acting national chairman, who also, dropped something, and a public, communicator and specialist who also established that whatever we're seeing now may not be in the interest of the people. As if you might not be on the side of the ruling party to get something in the next election, 2027 might be a challenge. Olabode just said 24 hours is a long time in politics. Are these people even saying it like that? Is it even a long time in politics? Headlines around this deflection is scattered, on the Tribune to be particular. 2027 won't be decided by the number of govs, says the PDP. Let me introduce our analyst this morning and we dive straight into the conversation. Mr. Olaliko Soni joins us in the studio to make sense of all of this. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Well, except for the deflections. And just wondering where the fate of the people lie. Olabode George said something, referred to an assignment given by the former president Umar Musa Yar'Adua in South Africa, and where he realized that it is not the people that they bring forward, it is the party. And then after the victory of the party, and then you begin to, who is your president, who is your vice, and any other position. And so it's going to be impossible for you to want to jump the gun or cross carpet or change the goalposts, because this is how I see it. People vote for you in the election and say half month or half year or 2 years into the journey, you change the narrative. Is this constitutionally acceptable? I think that's where we need to educate ourselves constitutionally first. What is the constitution saying, or what has it said on this matter of deflection? People march to the polls, stay in the sun. We say, let's do personality-based election. And so I may be voting for you because you belong to one political party. Maybe I believe in the party still, but it might be difficult for you to come out as an individual, except for being on the wings of the party, only to now change your party. What's the Constitution saying on this?
Thank you very much, Mr. Yowai. The Constitution is very, very clear on that. If you are a legislator and you are moving from from your party to another political party, you must resign. Again, the Constitution says that should there be conflict in your political party as regards the leadership of the party, then you may not resign. It's a bit conflicting, but looking at the proviso, should there be conflict? Right now, there is no conflict as regards who the leader of the PDP is. It's the acting chairman, Umar Damago. There is no other faction. If it's the Labour Party now, you can say, okay, there is the Abure faction, there is the Nadi Usman faction. But nobody as of today parades himself or herself as the national chair of the PDP. So there is no basis whatsoever for anybody to decamp from the PDP to another political party. Let's rewind back to 1981. There was Senator Francis Arthur Nzeribe that most of us know today. He was a senator between 1999 and 2003 or 2007, if I'm not mistaken. In the Second Republic, he was also a senator from Imo State. He wanted to decamp from, in fact, he decamped, for you to know how terrible our polity has become, he decamped from the opposition party then to the ruling party. He decamped from the NPP to the NPN, which was the party at the center. Guess what? The Senate president of that time, Joseph Wyers, despite the fact that his party was benefiting from the decampment, said, no, it's not going to work. What you are doing is against the law. I am going to declare your seat vacant, and you will have to resign your seat by leaving this place. Can you process that in today's Nigeria? Can Babio do that? It tells you that it's not always about the law. It's mostly about the people operating the law. The Constitution cannot operate itself. The judiciary is supposed, or should I say expected, to interpret the law as it is. But are they doing that? I mean, a lot of us cannot process it. The Senate president, his party was going to be benefiting from the political transfer, as you have it in the football industry. Transfer window. He decamped from his former party, NPP, which was an opposition party then. It was a party popular in the southeast then, led by the Azikiwe. And he went to Shagari's party, MPN. And Shagari was the president there. If it were to be today, the president would say, "Oh, that's the display of bravery and boldness." But then they didn't say it like that. They said, "No. Despite the fact that you are coming to our party, the law must remain the law." Like I said, if you are a governor, the Constitution does not say anything about you, whether you're leaving your party or you're not leaving your party, or you are resigning or you're not. It's about legislators. And the reason for that is that the legislature is supposed to be the conscience of the political class. They are the ones making the law. So if you are making the law, you're expected to be a little bit above other people. If you are not clean enough, how dare you say you want to tell me how to live my life? That is why the Constitution is particular about legislators. But today, it's unfortunate that the judiciary is waiting in the wings to help the legislators and non-legislators find a way around the law by saying, "Oh, you don't have to resign, you must not resign." And it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. What I can tell you that truly and verily, the law is not totally clear, because that window of should there be crisis, I do not understand why that should be there. If you are decamping from a political party, you should resign immediately. But that,
so which means you resign your position?
Yes, in the assembly, be it National Assembly or State House of Assembly. If you are moving from a political party, you should resign. That is what the Constitution says. However, like I said earlier, should there be crisis in your political party as regards who the leader is, you may take advantage of that by not resigning.
But how does this...
But right now, there is no controversy whatsoever.
At least nothing glaring as such in the PDP.
The chairman of the PDP.
Of the PDP.
Everybody knows that it's too much.
But how does this say that directly...
Please pardon me, sir. Even a court, I do not subscribe to that. It's nonsense in my opinion. But a court has already said in Nigeria that nothing must happen to Damagum's position until at least December 2025. So from the angle of the law, Damagum is the chairman, the sole and valid chairman of the PDP. So what exactly are we talking about?
What's the effect of this? Again, the average Nigerian is... How do I call this? Do we call it disappointment? Because people are not even surprised. You see everyone moving on with their regular lives. As this is just another episode. But again, the effect of all of this on the people. 2027 is a strong element in all of this.
It is the only element, not a strong element. The only element. And let me tell you what is happening here. Two things are involved. I don't subscribe to the idea of using money belonging to the state to run political games. But if you were to sit down
where do the political party then get money to run their system?
They are supposed to get money, number one, from the federal government. INEC gives them money every month. And from the people. It's the people who should actually be fueling the political. If you believe in this particular political party, put your money where your mouth is. That's the design. But it's unfortunate that it's money bags and corrupt governors that are financing these political parties. And, it may be a topic for another day, because I'm not sure it's something we can exhaust today. But that is the foundation of our problem. That is the foundation of our problem. Now let's go back to this game. The PDP has been banking on Delta State for a long time. when it comes to finances. Delta is one of the richest states in the country. It gets a lot of revenue because a lot of oil blocks are situated in Delta State, and they collect 13% of whatever you take out of their land. That's that. The same thing for Rivers, Bayelsa, and Akwa Ibom. So what they are trying to do now is that they want to cut the flow of oxygen to the PDP by taking away Delta and Akwa Ibom. Rivers is already gone. Don't forget about that. So they want to starve the PDP of cash. Is it something that should happen? Well, if it's going to be something cutting across the board, I am all too okay with that, because it's criminal, in my opinion, to use money belonging to the state to finance political parties. But they are moving from a political party to another, meaning they are taking the resources of their states to another political party that is already at the center. You can understand what that means. That's one. Now the game again is this: why is it that the governor of Delta State did what he did? A lot of people don't understand. It's not sheriff's game personally. It's sheriff's benefactor's game. Arthur, if you're in Yokoa. He was the governor yesterday.
Yeah.
Around a month ago, he was picked up by the EFCC, and he was shown papers pointing to the fact that he mismanaged. I don't want to say that he stole until a court of competent jurisdiction says that he was alleged to have mismanaged over ₦1 trillion. And, you cannot forget about yesterday if you want to have a clear picture of tomorrow. Let's not forget that Adam Oshiomhole told us in the past that no matter what you have stolen, no matter what you have done, once you join the APC, you become born again, and all your past sins will be forgiven. The next thing we are going to hear about Okowa is that he is going to the APC. What does that tell you? A lot of undercurrent affairs have gone, and if it's about Benny, what exactly do you want to do? Do you want to go to jail, or you want to join our party? Oh, fine. Your party is a brilliant party. It is a fantastic party. In fact, I've been longing to join your political party for a long time, and now he's a member of the political party called APC. It's not going to end there, unfortunately, for the PDP. It is not going to end there. I see the same thing happening in Akwa Ibom State. Yes.
Because there are predictions that more governors are going to join the PDP.
There are more governors that are going to leave the PDP. It's not just Okowa. Look at what the governor of Akwa Ibom said. Well, he was not saying that until his governor, his benefactor, the former governor, Ayo Emmanuel, was picked up around the same time Okowa was picked up. They said, Chief, you have been alleged to have mismanaged 1.4 trillion. APC or jail. And ever since that time, the current governor of Akwa Ibom has been, singing all sorts of choruses in praise of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, such that he said that he will not support the candidate of his party come 2027. Rather, he is going to support the candidate. He is going to support the current president. That tells you that EFCC has been compromised. I can't say it with my mouth loud and clear. The only reason why I'm going to have a change of heart is that if they can publish all the details they have found against these people and, of course, prosecute them. Anything short of that, I think the greatest wing of the APC right now is the EFCC, and that is unfortunate.
All right, we'll take a break. The former governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, the Speaker of the State, the state party chairman, and all local government chairmen had agreed.
All nominees of Okowa. Okowa was the one as governor then who nominated all of them into these roles.
All of them had agreed to join the APC. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we open the phone lines, and then, of course, we dive into all the stories as regards state police in Nigeria for today. Stay with us.
Wells Radio, 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
The 2025 Synod of Methodist Church Nigeria, Agodi Diocese, is ongoing with lots of activities at Methodist Church Nigeria, Olodo Circuit in Worod, Ibadan. The high point of the synod is the presentation of the address of the diocesan bishop, Right Reverend Simeon Onoleke. The august presentation ceremony will be transmitted live on your darling station, West Radio 89.3 FM. Stay tuned to be part of the epoch-making 2025 synod of Methodist Church Nigeria, Diocese of Agodi, holding at the Olodo Circuit. Join us live from the Olodo venue at 10:30 a.m. this morning. Worthy is the Lamb. Hallelujah.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you're welcome back to the show. Let's open the phone lines. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, you're live. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Adirunke from Muslim.
All right, Adirunke from Muslim. Good morning. Share your perspective with us.
Yeah, for the PDP defecting to APC, 2027 general election is between APC and the masses because the present administration has subjected the masses in pain, hunger, and hardship. Hence, lobbying or coercing big Greek politicians to defect is a sheer waste of resources, time, and energy because their influence won't even matter come 2027. Their influence is not matter come 2027 as they are ganging up against the masses. Because to me, it's like these people that are defecting, they are ganging up against we the masses. So come 2027, like the Oyo State governor said that the 2027 election is APC versus Nigeria. So that's how it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adirunke. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Ruth calling from Alakia.
Ruth from Alakia. Good morning, Ruth. Your perspective.
Yes, sir. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. As regards the PDP crisis, PDP party, they just keep deceiving themselves. Because if they have done the needful in addressing their differences, none of their members will defeat to the ruling party. So it's high time they put aside their personal interest in the overall interest of the people. That's why they can only get the cycle of 2027. So if they like, they should not do the needful on time. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Ruth. 0916-893-1000. 0916-893-2000. 0915-333-4-893. 0916-893-1000. 0916-893-2000 and 0915-333-4-893. Deflection here and there, gala of deflection, as I saw on one of the articles this morning. And there are predictions that we're going to be getting more in the coming days. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Tony from Oluyole.
Good morning, high ranking Tony. Good to hear your voice on a Friday.
Yeah, good morning, Brasoni.
Good morning, sir.
You have Comrade Lagos has nailed it on the head. It is about 2027. And if you look at data politics, Ned has already declared, Senator Ned has gone to APC. And the Roma Agege is on the wing. And Senator Kowa and the Right Honorable Owori knows that if they don't take action now, if they are still interested, they cannot get the ticket for APC for governorship. And they know, like Shomole have said, once we just get to APC or ruling party, we enjoy doing Nigeria. So it's not about the interest of the people. It's just about the interest of their own perpetuating themselves in power. If you know, a few months ago, it was for the daughter of Udidiboribo, Ibori, who is still the godfather. You know, the godfather of politics in Nigeria still continues. Ibori still have a very strong grip on who becomes the governor of Delta State, right from Tracy from Uduara, even back to Okowa himself, now to Sherry, down to all the. Can you imagine a new party will just move to Nigeria and go to another party? It's interesting, and it's about money, like Bradley said. And this thing is still until people know that it is a right to take their mandate. But let them know that Obi won a lot of votes last election without even the president of government in the industry. It can still happen if the masses are ready to take their own nation back. Until we are ready, the politicians, we have only two parties in the country, the politicians and the masses. And until the masses are ready, that they want to be interested in politics and take over what belongs to them, we will still be serving these people. They are very serious. They are businessmen and they take their business serious. They are not interested in anybody. Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning to you. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony from Oluyole. Thank you so much for your perspective on that this one. Do you still want to say one or two things before we move on to other stories? I mean, it's overwhelming to see some of this in Nigeria. NEC postpones state police talks despite surge in insecurity and killings in the nation. The National Executive Economic Council on Thursday deferred talks on state police units. Let's take this. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Westwood.
Good morning, Mr. George from Olugweru.
This is George. I'm calling you from Olugweru.
Yes, good morning to you.
I've said severally here that if we don't take time as citizens of this country, that those who have stolen all our money will make us look like puppets in their hands. That is exactly what is happening now. And they are going to continue unless the masses rise against them, either through our vote or we come out to protest against them. We have right to protest against what they are doing because they are the ones who are heading anything about legislative. They are the ones who are holding.
Hello, Mr. George. Oh, we lost that call. Please do call us back. On Thursday, the NEC deferred talks on state police units until its next meeting amidst the violent attacks and bloodshed in parts of the country. The Bayelsa State Governor, Doyo Diri, told the State House correspondent after the council's 149th meeting at the Aso Rock Villa that the issues was on the agenda but could not be discussed in detail as it was still far down, on the list. State police was part of our agenda today, but unfortunately, because of time, demands, and after a very long meeting, we have been there for a very long time now. The presentations could not get to that point. So I assure you that in our next meeting, that issue will be, discussed and we're going to exhaust it, the governor explained after nearly 4 hours of meeting. Although the governor did not specify when next the council meeting will be, the NEC meeting are held on Thursdays of the month. Anyone would have thought with insecurity, especially with that happened in Plateau and in Benue State, whatever has to do with security, whether with policing or with the military or with any form of intervention in these two states, would top the charts on the agenda. But for a 4 hours meeting, that did not still come forward. I'll get your thought in a moment. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Mr. George.
All right, Mr. George.
Let's have my text.
Yes.
I said EFCC is in the hands of the ruling party. The police is in the hands of the ruling party. The court, they are also in the hands of the ruling party. So people are afraid, especially, I mean those who are politicians, who have skeleton in their cupboard. That is the reason why we are saying what is happening. Are we going to allow these people to take over our country and make it impossible for the masses to survive? And that is the reason why we, the masses, should think right now and look at what to do before the 2027 election. If not, I'm sorry, Nigeria has messed up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Let me get your thoughts in on the postponement of the state police talks.
Without mincing words, the governor of Bayelsa is a very big liar. Some of us heard it before the meeting, and it was later verified by the dailies that they were not going there to discuss state police. Even before the meeting commenced, they already knew exactly what they were going to talk about. And I can tell you free of charge that what they talked about is nonsense. $90 billion investment in the area of livestock. I mean, are you kidding me? Who's going to bring his money into this country?
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, you're in. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Anabola.
All right.
All the way from Nevada.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
All the so-called governors, if you do verify them, are coming back as a second time. No, Okowa like Okowa. It's having a much very case, financial something hanging on his head. All those that are.
Oh my God, your line is not clear, sir. Please do call us back. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Would love to hear your perspective, but please, the line is not clear.
The new 2-world, I want to go to discuss it, and some journalists got wind of that, just like some of us got wind of it, and the meeting started. In fact, I should tell you that it was a 2-day meeting. It started Wednesday evening, and they also held another session yesterday. 2 sessions, and not for once did they say anything about state police, which is actually the biggest elephant in the room. But for reasons other than common sense, these guys were unable to spot the elephant in the room. It tells you clearly that our politicians are not in the least too interested in our problems. That is just the truth of the matter. They are not concerned whatsoever.
Hello, good morning. Sorry, let's take this. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Sherry from Onara. Good morning.
Regarding the issue of state policing, I think if our leaders take it as a major priority, they're supposed to have done something on it. I hope you can remember the back and forth that we do face on the issue of Amateur. So why did Mr. President agree to approve the Soludo fire and so on corps rather than remit them to use the thing gun? Here in Oyo State, there are certain cops that are trying their best, but within guns fighting the criminal, it's like they are exposing their life to danger. So federal government should do this in that regard. If they can't approve this, or still perform for the Amateur. We need the police. That is the key to protect Nigeria at this moment. That's my own submission.
Good morning. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from?
It's me calling back again.
All right. Yes, it's clearer now. Thank you so much. Thank you for calling back.
Yeah. The reason why those people are attacking to the APC. Some of the governors they will be returning back as a second time in government. Like Okowa. It's having a financial something hanging on the head. Those are the reasons why they are cross-carpeting. They are not doing it because of poor masses too. They are doing it because of their own personal interest. Now, we don't have any formidable opposition party now in Nigeria, but it's between we members of the public, poor masses especially, and APC comes 2027. Welcome.
Thank you so much for your perspective. Let's complete that.
Like I was saying, they don't take us seriously, because if they care about our lives, the first thing they will be talking about is state police. But you held meetings for 2 days, and not for once did you make mention of state police. Look at what he said. He said, "Oh, everything is and they have a list that, and they actually serialized what they." I mean, that's nonsense. That is nonsense. It's about what is actually the biggest problem in the land right now. How do we come in? How do we fix it? All governors from 36 states gathered with the vice president.
And they didn't even touch that. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning
Hello,
to you.
Good morning to an icon. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Benga Mario. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Colin.
Morning, sir.
The last national anthem that was sing, there is a part in it that says, the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. But to my degree now, the labor of our heroes past has not been in vain. The works of people like late Bola Ige and the works like that, their labor has now been in vain. They should all be awake now from their death and see how far we have gone that democracy in this country. I know by now they do for this country. We are having a short meeting yesterday, and you know that the country is burning for insecurity, as a result of insecurity. And you are telling me all Nigerians that you don't have the time to debate on security. Who does that? So that means the government is toiling with the lives of we Nigerians. They have security attached to themselves. But you in the studio here, myself, our listeners at home, they don't have any security details attached to them. That means anything to happen to your country Israel. I don't know why the government of the state is using this way. And on the section of some governors and some CDP powers, let me tell you this. When a governor, a new governor in a particular state now, his first 2 years will be so interesting. The first 2 years will be used as a first timer. It's so interesting. There will be kind of some little bit of governance being played out in the state. Now, the last 2 years of his first term, then you will see him thinking about the second term. He's agitating and strategizing for the second term. And by then, you will see them trying to defend, trying to win some money to themselves in the midst of the second term. Then he will leave governance alone. Then on the second term, since he's being elected, they will now see his demonstration of prejudice, of like what we are seeing in this country now. Then where does the people now come into all analyze now? You can see that those governors they are aligning themselves to APC because they want to assume power. They want to retain power to themselves. And once you are a governor, if you leave the seat as a governor, I'm telling you, there's nothing you can do on this act that will equate to the position you have held, the money you have an access to when you are a governor. So that is what is their problem. I don't think that there will be a law. I don't think that there will be a constitutional review that will address the fact that once you have been a governor in Party A, you must not be pressed by any means. It is by then that we know and we sure that yes, they are practicing democracy. But if what we are practicing in this country now, like what Mr. Sonny always says, this is a tragedy of the highest order. God bless this nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benga Mario. Thank you so much for your thought this morning. Do you still want to complete your thoughts?
It's annoying. How can a country be like this and not say something as regards state police and say, oh, it's when next we meet? I should tell you something, sir. They have been deferring conversations around state police for at least 3 times now. So what is the assurance that they're going to talk about it the next time? It's painful.
The assurance of even when they talk about it, it's going to be something favorable again?
That is another thing. That is another thing. I mean, they might just wake up and say, okay, now we urge the president to... I mean, that's not the way to go. It is about standing for the people. This is what we want.
This is what we want. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, Mr. George.
All right, Mr. George.
We should not expect anything from them concerning state police. They are going to treat the issue of state police like the issue of what we normally say that each region should have their own resources. Restructuring. That is how they are going to treat that thing. And everything they are doing is to their own personal interest, without considering the lives that we are losing every day in Nigeria. That is government? Is this politics? Is this democracy? Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Wrapping
Mr.
this
George.
topic up, I should tell you that the president is not disposed to the Ayo State Police. People who you would expect to speak his voice, one of them being the IGP, said no to state police.
Not state police. Hello, good morning. Hello.
I wanted to end.
All right, Mr. Benga.
Yeah. Now I wanted to end my last call with this. It's not as I said earlier. Recollect that what bank said they need a projection that by 2027 Nigeria is going to be faced by worst poverty by 2027. And I want to say this: we don't need any external body to tell us that we are going to reach it. Even the reality is done or not. Because then we're supposed to be the food basket of the country. Is that it's not a fit now. Farmers will not go to farm to bring their produce down to the city. So what do you expect? Even before 2027, they are going to see. But my prayer is that for you there, for me, for everyone at home, the good Lord will sustain us in Jesus' name. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benga. Thank you for your call. Let's go to River State quickly. The River State Sole Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibek Ete, retired, was expected to appear before the House of Representative Committee overseeing the state administration under the emergency rule on Thursday, but he did not attend the meeting. The chairman, Professor Justice, conducted a closed-door session with committee members lasting 50 minutes, but declined to speak to the press afterwards. Journalists were left disappointed as the committee members refused to comment. What's going on?
The truth of the matter is that
Rivers, even with the sole administration.
How do you analyze illegality? Just how? Number one, nothing connects the National Assembly and the governor of the state. That is it. But is there a governor of the? Is there a governor in River State? Sadly, there is none. There should be called Similaye Fubara, but the president has illegally, like I've been saying, in my opinion, illegally suspended an elected governor. Now the federal government is arrogating the powers of the House of Assembly in River State to itself by saying, okay, National Assembly is going to oversee and supervise. Instead of going there yesterday, another legality happened. The guy Hibas went to National Academic Council. Look at the NEC. Look at the act establishing the NEC. Members of the NEC, number one, vice president is the chairman. Governors of states, not sole administrator. Governors of state, finance minister, CBN governor, and the likes. This guy went there and he was allowed to enter. I don't understand that. Now they said they are waiting for him at the National Assembly. He didn't turn up. But, some of us have ways of getting things that are happening that most people don't know. I learned that he is planning to attend today. That Ibas is planning to attend the session in the National Assembly today. Whether he's going to go through with that or not, I cannot speak for him. But from my own sources, I learned that he is planning to attend today. That's not what I want to say about Rivers. People have been protesting in Rivers State. It's a daily occurrence. Give us Fubara. Suspend the state of emergency and return Fubara. Guess what? The media handler of the guy in Rivers State said that you are testing the patience of Ibas. If you continue with this thing, you are going to see what you didn't bargain for. In your own interest, stop testing. Ibas has, in their words, sweeping powers to deal with you. That's nonsense. In a democracy, you are threatening the people. What exactly is democracy without the right to protest? People are protesting and asking for their right, that you restore democratic institutions, and what you are going to say from your filthy mouth is that you have sweeping powers to deal with them. That is total, absolute, and complete nonsense.
Let's take our final story. EFCC gets order to arrest 6 CBEX promoters. The Federal High Court has granted the EFCC permission to arrest, detain 6 alleged promoters of CBEX Bridge exchange, recently involved in a massive cryptocurrency investment fraud worth over $1 billion. Justice Emeka Nwait gave the order on Thursday following an ex-party application. The names of the 6 individuals are Adefowora Olanikwekun, Adefowora Oluwani Shola, Emmanuel-Ojo, Seyi Oloyede, Otorodo, Aworosol, and Chukwebuka Herium. Names have been mentioned here, and the FCC have been given the other to arrest.
Shame on EFCC.
6 of them.
And the reason I'm saying that is that, initially we did not even know that CBEX was registered. Along the line, we realized that CBEX was registered.
I was shocked because initially I learnt about the CAC registration.
Not just CAC.
The EFCC.
EFCC registered the company and gave them a license, the license. Yeah. Anti-money laundering license. Are you kidding me? I should tell you, EFCC is trying to spin a very big brand of nonsense right now. That they did not register CBEX as a name. That it was ST CBEX or whatever. Please permit me to say something here. There is a major telecoms company in this country that everybody knows. It's the not so popular Graham brand that goes with a digit. On paper, that is not the name of the company. The name of the company is something totally different. I wouldn't want to say that here. So it's not unusual
to find that
company
system, because a lot of that's run in Nigeria.
Yes, most people actually register with a different name, but
and then operate
deep
on
inside the paper, they operate on with a different name. So the EFCC cannot come here to now begin to claim ignorance. And besides, this story of CBEX, it's something that has been in the news for over a year. You never came up to say, we don't know them. It was the SEC, not CAC, Securities and Exchange Commission, that has been shouting all this while that we don't know them. The CAC never mentioned a word. The EFCC never said anything, despite the fact that we gave them, and in all seriousness, heads should have been rolling in the EFCC right now. If the president were to be a very serious person, if he were to be a serious human being, and had Minnesota or not a politician, you should have sacked everybody there. Because how dare you give anti-money? Anybody who wanted to invest would have invested upon saying that. At anti-money laundering, that tells you that the government has done its own background check to know that, these people are actually solid people. You give them such a license, now you are saying that you want to arrest this. The first set of people to be arrested are the people that give them that anti-money laundering license.
Let's take a last call. Hello, good morning.
Yes, finally.
Yes,
this
finally.
is Mr. George.
Yes, Mr. George.
Take this last message you brought out now. Align it with the issue of defection in the political arena. Who then is dealing with Nigeria? It is the federal government, headed by our president. Can we fight him?
We don't have to fight him. We put him there, we can remove him. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Laliko.
It's always an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Oyo State. Thank you for joining us this morning on Perspectives Unlimited. That's all our time can permit us to look at. But don't worry, at 8 o'clock this morning, we'll be live in Yoruba language to go through some of the stories that time did not permit us to look at in Yoruba language. Let's be good. Let's try our best as much as we can to be good. God bless Nigeria. Up next is AM Sport. It's the Friday edition. Lizette is live in the studio. Good morning.